next segment, let's bring up Michael Calbera and Christine Austin. Let's spin the, shine the light on special needs. Mike, you can stay there. You can stay right there. And we'll have Christine over here.
Sure.
And I'll stand, and I'll get right over here, okay? All right. All right, seated to my left is Christine Austin. She is the Assistant Director for the School of Language and Communication Development. And to my right is Michael Calbera, who has quite an inspirational story to tell. So, Christine, why don't we start with you, and let's talk about the School for Language Communication Development, and also the big event coming up for the school, the big fundraiser.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Howie. I've been with the school for about 15 years. We have several campuses. We've grown over the years. We have an elementary school in Glen Cove. We have a middle school in Woodside, Queens, and we have a high school in Richmond Hill. About 5 years old is our adult services agency, where I'm the assistant director. But throughout all of our programs, the school program and our adult services program, we focus primarily on language learning development, and we utilize that therapeutic approach towards all of our individuals, young and old, that come to the school.
And talk about the fundraiser coming up and how important it is to the school, and when and where it will take place.
Sure. So our food and wine tasting we have every year, and it's a great event because it supports the school. Our school is a private, non-public school, so we rely on donations and private funding, to continue all the great work that we're doing. So the event is actually on Thursday, April 20th, at Leonard's of Great Neck. It's a food and wine tasting, so we have several vendors, food and wine, and we have basket raffles, which is the most fun part. And all the proceeds go to the School for Language and our adult program, Able Community Services.
And how much is it to get in, and the time from when it starts to end?
Sure, I believe it's $90 per ticket, and that gives you obviously food and wine. And I believe that the event starts at around 6:30.
Okay, great. All right, now let's turn to Michael. And Michael, you truly are an inspiration to people with special needs. And let's talk about what you do and some of the things that you're so passionate about, especially working with people and how to teach people with disabilities.
Okay. I'm passionate about removing the label of special needs. That label in and of itself is a societal term that the government has given individuals with disabilities to classify us. But I'll get off the soapbox on that. Every human being has unique needs. I'll just close that thought with that purpose. I'm very passionate about educating prospective special education students and those who interact with individuals with disabilities of all types. As I've recently developed my retinal degenerative disease, working with people who want to work with the visually impaired or blind has become an extreme passion, out of necessity. Necessity breeds passion, passion breeds necessity. So it kind of goes hand in hand there. I'm very passionate about making learning environments and social environments conducive to success for all. Making mutually beneficial partnerships like the one I've formed with Halftime Howie and Rocco is very close to my heart, and just getting the message out there that everyone's humanity matters, regardless of their quote-unquote perceived special need or whatever situation they deal with, is awesome. Had a very successful fundraiser last week for an organization that is the leading researcher for the prevention, treatment, and cure of retinal degenerative disease, such as macular degeneration, Stargardt's disease or my disease, Leber's congenital amaurosis. Howie and Rocco were there along with about 75 of my other closest friends and family, and we were able to raise $2,000 in the name of myself and my team for the prevention, treatment, and cure of retinal degenerative disease. schools that serve individuals with disabilities, they have a very tough job. It's often a very thankless job on the surface. The people who perform that work do it with their hearts because they're very much underpaid. So I want to congratulate the School for Communication Disorders and the great work that they do. It's awesome to see and have seen community integration happen for all people with disabilities, particularly going to an Islander game in social capacity one night and seeing kids from that elementary school sing and sign the national anthem and patriotic songs between periods and before the game. So they do great work, and I encourage all of us to support their fundraiser next week.
Absolutely.
Or on April 20th, sorry.
Yeah. Talk about, Christine, how so many of your students do so many inspiring things.
Sure. So the part of the organization that I run or supervise is more of the adult services program. So as you were just speaking, we have several different community integration programs, which I think is the most important part of a young adult's life. What happens is that they graduate high school at 21, and there's really nothing, there's no one there to hold their hand, there's no one there to tell them where to go, as they have been told for 21 years of their life in school. With the addition of our new program for adults, it offers a continuum of services for our young adults. We have job coaching. You were talking about our young children in the Islander games. We have several young adults working in movie theaters, in food establishments, and this is a new sector for us, the employment sector, and I just think it's awesome when we hear one of our young gentlemen actually was hired on Friday at Roosevelt Fields, AMC, and when I get that information, I'm not there personally on the interview, but it's amazing and awesome, and it really fills my heart, and I appreciate the words that you said about teachers and people who work with individuals with disabilities, but truthfully, it's the most rewarding part of my day.